when it comes to quality assurance, I always think of the Japanese versus the UK model. So really simply, the Japanese spend 6 months sorting something out and then implementing it in a day, whereas we implement in a day and then spend 6 months sorting it out. So my top tip for quality assurance is to go somewhere in the middle, to do that big piece of planning. And when you come to planning, it's about business objectives, making sure that quality assurance aligns to what the business requires, not just what the call requires. So define and understand business objectives. Pull together your critical success factors underneath that, so you really know why you're doing quality assurance. And then finally, then get the process and measures in place.
In quality assurance, you do have to give feedback, but it cannot be generalistic feedback, because the agent won't be able to resonate with the message if it's not specific to their interactions in your business specifically. And if it's too generalistic, they're solely going to completely switch off and not implement the feedback that you're trying to give them to help them improve, which then in turn doesn't help the contact center itself. So overall, quality assurance needs to be more about improvement than punishment, and more personalized than generic, to fully have an effective change within any contact center environment.
First tip I would have on quality assurance is focus on the 3 levels of calibration. And what do I mean by that? So calibrate what good outcomes look like for you and what you want the customers to experience. Once you've defined those, calibrate those amongst your QA team to ensure that they're all in alignment. And then the third stage is calibrate that with your QA team and your frontline team so that everybody understands what's expected of them, reduces friction, builds relationships, and creates a great QA culture.
Focus on what matters to the customer conversation, as well as regulation and internal measures. For example, do you take a view on the quality of the conversation, even if it deviates from the script? You know, what's the customer outcomes? So adherence to the script or adherence to process is one thing, but actually the outcome is what matters. So don't be so structured that you miss that.
Really what's paramount is, are we delivering on our customer expectations? Are we delivering a good experience? And then we use it to drive and improve processes and policies internally, you know, adoption of internal procedures, as well as then developing training for both individuals in the group. And then the kind of icing or the cherry on top of the cake is making sure to recognize and reward agents for that good performance. So it's not just finding the outliers on the negative side, but also finding outliers on the positive side, sharing great calls with other with other colleagues, and giving shout outs where we found kind of exceptional service.